Boom, you are live. Yeah, apparently, we're live in the direct. No, we're not here to die. We're here to make a testimony of our aliveness. Yeah, Frank will be joining me shortly. He just texted me, said I'll be there in 5. But today we're going to review our thing about the anti-life system. The show I'm going to do with PT. Yeah, PT Albanian for life. Yeah, PT will be live on the TruMon show, January 7th. Don't miss it. Make it a date. Definitely, it's going to be very, very interesting to hear him on all kinds of topics like this. Like, what was the Vidic ways back then? I have no clue. I haven't researched that much into a Vidic lifestyle, so that's why I like to have PT, and he can instruct us, he can give us his perspective on the agriculture, how to make the agriculture better. I think there's ways in this world without going drastic and saying we're going to change the world, because I don't think it's going to happen overnight. But if we were going to make this world our world also, not just the world, our world, because if your world becomes better, the world becomes better. So that's why I put, how could we make our world a better place? That's the title with PT. But that's in the optic that it's your world, my world, your world, getting better. So if you are doing agriculture, how could you make it better? And all that stuff. If you are a fan of professional sports, how would you make it better? Because I think that's what we're going to look at today. How can we make the transportation better? You know, I'm not saying that everything will go out the door tomorrow. Will be like teleportation and shit, but we still can make it better, definitely. Less pollution, definitely. Better for the environment, better for you, better for everyone. Food industry. Yeah, and I was thinking also in the hospital. But I said the grounding spot in the hospital, that's doable anytime. You can do that tomorrow. You know, give them a good chilling spot in the hospital when they can go ground themselves, hug a tree, talk to the tree. I don't know, with a little breeze from the outside. Grass on the ground or something, dirt or grass, whatever, maybe not gravel, like something comfy for the feet. And yeah, I think there's but I want to hear a PT on those topics, definitely. Yeah, the clothes, the school, education, playing outside, very important. Natural light. So I don't think I have mentioned that in the other talk with Frank, but it would be nice to have more natural light in school, like less fluorescent fake lights and closed classroom, just natural light. And apparently the children are much, much more attentive with natural light than fake lights. They have made study about that. They study all kinds of stuff. Pays for the study. Probably that study is probably being paid by Iron Divine. Natural light, yeah, it's natural. So yeah, the clothes industry, definitely recycling cotton. Why not? Instead of making rags and stuff, recycle it. Medicine, hospitals, the sports, professional sports. That's a good topic. The first thing I would do, I would stop paying those athletes millions of dollars per year. You know, we live in a society where also another thing I would do is I would put the high cost on the junk food. High cost on junk food and everything that is healthy, fruits and stuff, and not transformed processed shit, but good food, cheap. Good food, cheap, and the junk food, very expensive. Like, they did it for the cigarettes here in Quebec. You go buy a pack of cigarettes, it's like $20 Canadian almost now. So that's expensive for cigarettes. $20 Canadian, I have a little bit more than a quarter tank of gas in my car. So it's quite a bit. So now when you end up paying you go buy a burger at Burger King and you're going to pay $25 for your burger, might think about it twice. Might say, okay, I'll go eat something healthy. So if you force the new habits on people, I think it's something that can work, definitely, because you touch their pocket. As soon as you come and touch people's pocket, they're a bit more, resilient to spend sometime. So, everything. So make everything expensive, everything that is junk in this society, make it super expensive. Cigarettes, alcohol should be super expensive. It's not expensive enough. Your 40-ouncer of gin or rum or should be like $100. Hey, Frank is zero. Okay, Frank, I'm already live. You hear me?
Oh, what up? Yeah.
Already live on the tube.
Grand Rising.
Yeah, Grand Rising. No, I was saying the price of everything that is junk in this society should be super high, like they did with the cigarettes. I don't know if they did that in the States too with the cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Taxing the cigarettes.
It depends on the place that you are. So, like, especially places that are more like bigger cities, it's a lot more expensive. And then smaller, more country or like different. Yeah, I mean, other places, they're cheaper, but they're way more expensive than they used to be. Everywhere, that's for sure.
And it worked. A lot of people have thinking of stop smoking. It's too expensive. So if you put the price of a burger at $25, they're going to think twice before go eat a burger or two. It costs them $50.
Uh-huh.
So it should work. So I think it's just a matter of will. Will we have the people with the good will in place to make it happen? Because they did it for the cigarettes. The government did it here. And there's even pictures on cigarette package here, like nasty stuff that can happen to you because of cigarettes, like lung cancer and shit. And they show the super nasty picture on the back.
Yeah, definitely.
And that impact too. So if you do the same thing with the bad food and you put someone like, I don't know, eat too much sugar, you're going to become super obese or
right.
something like that. I don't know, something to discourage the courage, the rage you have in the neck.
Yeah.
Courage, cool is neck, French, and rage.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the companies and the industries that are pushing the products labeled as food, but it's not actually food. They have some certain amount of allowance to do that. There should be laws that you can't, and I don't exactly know why, maybe it's like they have an excess of some industrial byproduct and they're like, hey, we can feed this to people instead of, having to pay for, we can sell it and people can eat it instead of us having to pay for its, correct disposal or something like that. I don't know if that's actually the case, but it seems like.
And also, what I would do, put me in charge. I would definitely abolish all nice, appealing packaging. What is that thing on the box of, like just a container of Kool-Aid? If you're gonna sell it, first tax it big time and make it black, really freaking dark. Like what is all those appealing colors, to sell Kool-Aid and cereals and like no appealing packaging, no colors appealing, because sometimes you can have a shit product packaged well packaged and it's gonna sell, man, like crazy, and most of the stuff is like that.
Yeah.
It sells because the package is nice, or they put gold or silver, or it's shiny, it attracts you. So I would abolish all that, except if it's healthy. If it's healthy now, appealing, you reinvert everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything that supports well-being, supports life, and is, conducive to the earth, the elements, and like is in a sense, not going to be unnecessarily causing destruction or toxicity. Then they will have the advantage of being able to have their things on display or have packaging that's appealing.
I have something very controversial for you to bring up. And I heard that recently, okay? And it struck me. I was like, always under the impression that it was good for us. And I'm going to ask PT that question too.
Yeah.
How do they approach it? And apparently, oil is oil is oil. Olive oil, coconut oil, whatever oil you're talking about, it's no good for you. I heard a doctor somewhere, Dr. Rees, I think, his name.
Right.
It got my attention because it makes sense that oil is oil is oil. But right. I want to hear PT. Do PT eat olive oil? Does he what is his take on this?
Right.
Because it's really controversial. Come on. In Italy, they all eat olive oil for centuries. And as far as I'm concerned, they live a long, happy life.
Yeah, right.
So it's
now
I think myself. So now
right. I think there's been definitely a perversion of oils with, different types of synthetic or laboratory processes that they're, hydrogenating certain types of oils, or there's certain things that are very unnatural that you would not, or even synthetic oils in foods and stuff like that. That shouldn't be the case. We should have, because like he said, I think you asked him about like oatmeal or something like that one time. And he was like, if it comes from the earth, more than likely it's actually, if you take it in a balanced way, it's actually going to be, probably good for you, But, when we're talking about oil and just looking at it in the Vedic perspective, I mean, that would fall under like the kapha humor, or so in Ayurveda or the Vedic kind of health angle. There's three main humors, right? There's the vata, which is mainly the air element, the pitta, which is the fire element, and the kapha, which is the water element. And so excess oils or oils in general would be kind of like kaphagenic or kapha producing, but you need oil to like in your car. Like, is that guy mechanic? Is that doctor mechanic? Like, what? You can't run a car without oil. This body is a car. Like, we need lubrication of our joints. We need, a certain amount. We don't want too much.
That makes sense.
We don't want too little, and we want the kind of oil that's actually going to be, received, accepted, and recognized by our body as, okay, I know what to do with this, and not like, what is this thing that's, that's what our bodies, I feel like, do with,
his big argument too is oxidation. Like he said, because it's exposed to the air in the bottle, there's always a little bit of air. There's going to be, or when you open the bottle, it's open to air oxidation. But everything is like even me, I'm exposed to oxidative stress. That's what it is. The oxidative stress is the stress coming from the air. Like at one point, everything oxidizes unless it's packaged in a vacuum and stays in a vacuum all his life and never seen a air molecule. Everything oxidizes.
Right. I mean, I think there's something to be said about like the freshness of the food that you eat.
Yes.
You don't want to eat food that's been expired or like just set around for way too long. But at the same time, we have to be practical. Like, just because there's some oil is in a bottle, I don't feel like that, rules it out to not be used, So, I would just say with that, just like for people to just kind of keep up with get the things that you get and try to use them within a reasonable time, and don't let them just sit for so long that they become like dull or whatever.
So the freshness of the product, of course, in Italy they probably eat more fresh olive oil, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Or the tropics, more fresh coconut oil. But coconut oil is saturated fat too. It's hard at room temperature.
Right.
It's not the same thing. Does it oxidize the same way? Mm-hmm. Probably. It's exposed to the air. Right. So the oxidation argument is hard to swallow, admittedly.
Right.
Everything oxidizes. Your apple, you're gonna eat will oxidize like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't live in a vacuum, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure Pete's got probably a 1 to 2 line retort that would just like make sense. It's like
he's gonna give me something very short and sweet, and it's gonna make sense. It's like a car. The car needs oil, so you probably So I found it. That's why I brought it up. I'm like, this is the most controversial statement I've heard in a while.
Any oil
was bad for you. Creating free radical. Now, I don't know what the free radical is, honestly. I don't even know what oxidation is with the oxygen and all that nonsense words we repeat. And like, I don't know.
It's got a bandana on. He's like, free me.
Sometimes it's just to attract attention. But anyway, I'm willing to explore the possibility that oil is oil. But like you said, you need oil to lubricate, to make sense. And you eat an avocado. There is oil in the avocado.
There's oil in foods naturally.
There's oil in food naturally. Okay, might not be natural to extract it, but why not? Like, come on. What? Right. We're supposed to live with stone and stick and make fire? Like, we're humans. We're going to do stuff like that. We're alchemists. So we're going to take olives and press it and make oil. And I don't. It's common sense. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Coconut, extract the oil. You eat a coconut. So anyway, today, Frank, we're going to start with professional sports.
Okay, nice.
Like I said, we live in a society where we pay athletes more. You pay more to get entertained, the people that entertain you, than the people that can potentially save your life. Doctors and trauma doctors. So there's a huge problem there. So definitely stop paying athletes so much, millions per year and stuff. But do you think we can still have professional sports, football, hockey, name it, tennis? Because I think sports is good. Definitely, you move the body, so it's good. Mm-hmm. But can we have this without creating a circus distraction for the Muggle? Because it's like the old Rome Empire, the freaking entertainment circus is crazy today. So really we are in the age of distraction. So definitely, can we have, you think, and how was sports approached back in the Vedic days?
Right.
Can you tell us a bit more, Frank? Because people always move their body no matter what. I think sports probably always existed.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like the concept of like games. And like, I mean, I feel like the sports is, I could be corrected on this, but probably primarily a combination of like Martian and Mercurial energies, because Mars is like the energy and the drive and the passion and like the woo 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 woo, and then the Mercurial things is about kind of like intellect and like games and like how can you make it interesting and like who gets the point for this and like setting about like precise and detailed rules with things, and it's also just kind of childlike and it's like fun and it's laughter and stuff like that, because I mean, that overall, you know, anybody who's played sports as a kid, you know, you remember your coach saying at some point, remember, y'all, this is supposed to be fun. We're here to have fun, you know, like we're not, I mean, it's good to be able to achieve like getting some goals and compete and stuff like that. But like, hey, we're out here and we're just like, yeah, here to have fun. I think as far as how the Vedic days approach games, I don't know if I'm qualified to talk about that officially. It'll be cool to hear what P has to say on it. But I mean, I think as far as I know, a perspective that I've heard is that, you know, most of the sports that are around in the world today have kind of been established by the ones who are running everything. They kind of came up with the games, and they gave different types of games or sports to different cultures or areas. Now, there is potentially some traditional sports and things like that that may exist in certain places. But, you know, when we're talking about our hockey, basketball, baseball, soccer, football, cricket, rugby, badminton, all this kind of stuff, certain of those sports exist in certain places or are more popular because, like, for instance, I don't know about in Canada, but like in the United States,
it's the same. It's the same as US, bro.
Yeah. So like cricket is like not really a game that gets any attention or popularity over here, unless you are an individual that has come from a country where that sport is popular and celebrated. Like, for instance, if you go into an Indian restaurant, you might see like a cricket match on a TV or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, because like in India, they're like cricket is a popular sport, and it's something that the kids play from a young age, and there's professional leagues and stuff like that, as far as I know. But, you know, like baseball or basketball, I don't think they really do that very much over there. I don't think. I mean, cricket is a much more intellectualized and kind of that's not the right word, but like has a lot more different types of rules and lots of different things that are going on for it. And it's kind of like baseball, but baseball is like a very dumbed down version of cricket. And but that's like basically what over here in the States, that's what we were given, you know. Baseball is like one of our national games, you know, that we have baseball stadiums around. And
baseball is big. It was big here back when we had the Expos, but it's still big. Baseball, people have baseball. The Blue Jays we have.
I would love to, if you ever want to have a little bit more of an extended talk or series on sports with P, that would be fun, because I think he has some fun stuff to share about it.
You know, I'll bring it up because I think, like you said, most sports we have around today has to do with the cult of Baal. Like, we should abolish all sports that has to do with the cult of Baal, because that's why it's played with a ball. Like, let's be honest, where it's just a ritual. So abolish baseball, football, hockey is probably in there. Hockey, just the design on the ice is very, very occult. I've seen stuff about hockey that is very occult also, and just the CH in Montreal, we have the Canadian CH. I don't think it stands for abs or Canadian, or I think it's just cars and houses. That's all we have around. So no, it's all to also influence the matrix, the sports. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, I don't know if the games themselves are inherently bad or wrong, like the ball kind of thing, you know, because you can have a game going, but then still somehow be acknowledging, celebrating the elements in divine and things like that. I mean, you wouldn't push things to extreme in which people were injuring themselves, because that's not going to be for their well-being. And that overall is not going to support people's evolution. And that's kind of what we should be able to kind of have that as the underlying, you know, algorithm that is integrated into the way we speak, the way we eat, the way we entertain ourselves, the way that, you know, the evolution of the consciousness of the human beings here is why we're here. And so it should be integrated into all the things that we do so we can never forget that's why we're here. We don't want to forget. We don't want to get dumb. We don't want to hurt ourselves on accident. We don't want to sabotage life, our little bit of time that we have here. So the point is, like, how can we remind ourselves as continuously as possible what life is about, and how do we actually keep doing what we're here to do? You know,
more martial arts. Like, were they big on martial arts back in Vedic days? Like,
you know, yeah, like it's cool. Like the how we see in we definitely see like kind of some Vedic elements coming in when we see kind of like the Shaolin style, and there's like it's very martial. It's like it has a militaristic thing to it, and it has a graceful thing to it too. It's a grace, like the using your body in graceful ways, and like and I think India has also its own like version of like one-to-one combat that has like its particular form and style. I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, I mean that's another way.
Chinese have it too with the sumo wrestler.
Yeah, is that Japanese? Is that Japanese or is
Japanese or Chinese?
Yeah, yeah, right.
A guy with a sumo wrestler.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, wrestling itself has always been kind of a, you know, just the combat.
You do it as a kid. It's fun.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, like even animals. You see animals like tussling with each other.
Yeah, bear wrestles together too.
Oh yeah, And then even when you look at the Vedic stories, all the old texts, like the big scenes, there's like the boss versus the final boss. It's like divine is incarnated as like something like. And then there's like, you know, kind of the demon character, and they're like at it, you know, and those stories detail. I mean, some of those battles will go on for like super long amounts of time and like very cool things. You know, that's one thing I love about the Vedic stories is that like they have some epic battle scenes that you don't find in some of the other type of spiritual text, you know, around.
That's it. There must be something in the Vedic literature like telling us how were they approaching all this? Definitely.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So you wouldn't drop everything that has to do with the cult of Baal. You would just maybe, because I think there's a big brainwash behind it. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, referred to.
I think part of like the bit
hurt.
Yeah. Like the deceptive
there's a deception
game. It's a game also that they're somehow playing.
Yeah,
you know, it's a
game of deception.
It's a consciousness game. It's a game where they're kind of keeping people trapped in a certain way. It's a little bit more, what's the word, demented, or like it's not like a cool game, really.
No, and when you see those sports being played, and then you know that the muggles in the stand have no clue that the programming behind it, you're like, okay, is it that fun, the game?
Yeah, right.
I don't watch it no more on TV because, like, it's not that fun anymore. But maybe if it wouldn't be so much geared towards all the deception, maybe sports would be more agreeable to watch. Or
yeah, and I've heard P say about how like P himself, as far as I know, he played a lot of sports when he was a kid. A lot of table tennis, badminton, like some of these kind of things.
I think it's no good.
Yeah, because it actually like sharpens and it hones your kind of like your body's ability to focus and like have like instinctual reaction. And because like every like life, like P says, is not, people try to separate things and like specialize in certain compartments, but then ignore other parts of life. But actually like life itself functions as a whole, just in the same way as our body does. It's like, just because, you know, I'm speaking to you with my voice doesn't mean that my lungs aren't important or that my foot's not important. Like it also has its function and its role. So the reason I was saying that was that like the skills that or the things that the we can attain through focus and things like that with sports can also have like an effect in our spiritual life and the way that we act and are in the world too at the same time. So it's like the you know, the you can get a spiritual lesson from like a very accurate play in a sports. You can take it apart and like find meaning in it in a way that is like, I mean, that's kind of like a poetic way of seeing things, you know. But at the same time, like you can bring a meaning to divine, like if you have the kind of right perspective or the right perception, you know. So that's the cool thing about P. He can always like he can see things in a very detailed and intricate manner, simplify them, and also relate it to something that's meaningful and spiritual.
All those games also like card games, just the deck of cards is very, it's not occult, I would say. It's very significant. I think the 4 season, and you find the significance of astrology in the deck of cards, but people that go play poker doesn't know that. So, you know, what I'm saying is maybe if we would be a little bit more aware of what we play with, we would play with it a different way.
Yeah.
In every aspect of our life. Mm-hmm. So what about those games, chess game, backgammon, and all those, like, were they very something that they were doing back in the day? Like, I wonder if they were finding purpose in playing those games like we do today. There's even chess tournaments that like make it big event. There's like, sometimes I see 20,000 people in the arena for a chess game.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not judging anything. I'm just trying to reason with you on this.
There's the attention to be on those type of, but I mean, one thing about like sports or intellectual games like chess and things like that is that it is something to see people who have put in, you know, almost a lifetime of work to be able to achieve certain feats of intellect or of physical balance or you know, like a gymnastic. I mean, even though like those beings who like work so hard to do those things, they might not be in touch with like actual principles, but they do have a certain amount of discipline and a certain amount of work that they put into it, which says something, you know what I mean? Now, they might not have directed it toward like getting themselves out of the matrix, which is actually going to earn them a better place in their own well-being. But at the same time, and this story kind of goes along too with the Vedic stories of like, so the demon tribes or the asuras, like they'll work like tirelessly for a long time to like make technology and do all sorts of things. And that effort doesn't go unrewarded. They actually achieve like their goals at certain times. They'll like, there's stories in which like they break into heaven or they break into higher realms through certain technologies that they've created. Now they don't get to stay there like long term because at least from how P is explained it, like the technology or the thing of heaven or higher realms, like you can't actually stay there if you haven't basically adapted yourself to be a sustained energy in that field, you know? So you can't have like the lower frequencies like operating too strongly because it's not an energetic match. You'll get shot back down in time. But anyways, I'm kind of like...
So you're saying that it's like a must for discipline learning to these games.
Yeah, like, and that's what's like a little bit...
Very, very big on discipline. Everything that has to do with discipline in those Vedic dream days. I would like to bring it back.
And so another thing that I have observed from some of those old Vedic stories is like there will be characters, and like one of the games that like the royals will play is they will make bets, and they'll do kind of like some type of like gambling or something like that, where they're like, I bet this is going to happen, or I bet this is going to happen. And if I'm correct, then this is what is going to happen. And if you're correct, then this is what's going to happen. And now, so if you're playing a game like that, if you're doing like a betting game or you're trying to like predict an outcome, then that's also a certain way of like being able to see how things are going to work. So, you know, like that's something that like the rishis and sages and stuff like that, like they know how the multiverse operates and functions, so they can predict things. They could look at somebody.
Predictability.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, that's something that, and often like the characters who those stories will involve a certain degree sometimes of like manipulation, like the person in the story or the team who is kind of like the bad guys, or like they're not bad, but what I'm saying is like they will trick the other person and then they'll lose. You know what I mean? Which isn't actually like a, you know, the way that you win at life. You know, it's not about manipulation.
No.
But I don't know. I would love to hear
on
all these things.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
No, so the next, I think we have pretty much covered where I wanted to go. The page, my page is full for PT, and I'll tell PT to watch these episodes if he really wants to have a good feel of what we're going to talk about. I was going to send them notes, but I'll just watch the videos. So fitness, there's a huge industry around it. Fitness. People want to be fit. Who doesn't want to be fit? Yes, you're sitting on your ass eating donuts all day long. Might not be your case, but if not, most of us tried hard to be fit, but we live in a society where there's a lot of junk, abundance of junk.
Right.
Don't believe me? Just go out your house. Go. You know the grocery store. The grocery store is the place where you can really realize how dysfunctional this society has become. Go in there. And here it's called IGA or whatever supermarket you have. In the States, it's the same. It's full of junk food. And you're going to see how dysfunctional humanity has become. If you don't see it, you're really freaking blind, because everyone in there is sick with something. You might not see it because you don't see the inside of a person. You don't see the high blood pressure, the diabetes, and all that nonsense we have accumulated over the years. But you really can see how dysfunctional we have become. And if you don't think we have a sick society walking in a grocery store, well, you're gross yourself. You can't do nothing. It's freaking gross. Yeah. That's why it's called the grocery store. Anyway, where was I going with this? I was talking about fitness.
Yeah, right.
Fitness. I don't know why. Fitness, sometimes there's just things that are sitting on my mind and just waiting to come on YouTube to send it out.
Well, food and fitness are very connected.
Yeah, exactly. Food and fitness, very connected. And the first thing I think about is a word that everybody pronounces, and protein. I talk about fitness, talk about protein. No one has even a single little clue of what a protein is.
Right.
You don't. I don't. I don't even know what a protein is. I can tell you. I cannot bring a protein on a plate and I can. They tell me, oh, there's protein in it. What is a protein? I haven't studied the whole biological field of human beings now.
Right.
And even that, often it comes with indoctrination. So what is a protein? What is this? What is that?
Exactly right.
I think we should just eat food that makes sense. And when we're a society that like prefers stuff in a bucket than something natural, like how many buckets of protein powder are sold also just to, and it's full of scrap usually, these powders.
Yeah.
So I would eliminate all this from our society. I would give them something healthy. There's ways to have an healthy intake of protein without filling them with sugars and stuff. Yeah. And also putting the gyms outside the most possible. Like, I think gyms are a place of unfractality, and it's often very stressful environment, and there's lots of competition and stuff, and competing for the best body and the best this, and like
Right.
we're all at a certain place in our life. If you're overweight, there's nothing wrong to lose weight. I'm in the midst of working on that myself. No, but it doesn't come overnight. It takes a lot of effort. You have to move, eat less. So definitely there's a new thinking that's gonna come when we think of fitness, but I wonder what you can tell us about that, Frank, about the whole fitness industry and how maybe they were approaching that back in the day. I don't know. Maybe there's something I miss here, or it's more than just a bucket of protein powder. I get it. Too bad, because my son consumes it, so I'm like, he keeps talking about his protein, and I need protein, natural protein, and I don't even. I said, no, stop talking about protein. I don't know what it is. So Frank, tell me about the fitness. What could we make better in there for ourselves first? That because, like I said, the reasoning with PT will be how could we make our world a better place, because it's your world, my world. As soon as this becomes a better place, the whole world will become a better place. So if you are into fitness, how can we make this better for everyone?
Exactly.
See something wrong with gyms? Do you see something that could be done better? Also,
I really like
the environment. We're in Canada, gyms outside in the park, -20 might not be very comfy. So there's got to take into account. You too, in the States, it's cold sometimes. So exactly.
Well, so I love the idea that you mentioned about having a lot more kind of, outdoor options available. I mean, even with gyms themselves. Okay, first of all, we should try to have things, I don't know, less harsh. Like we don't have to work out with metal all the time, like what if there was weights made out of wood and stuff like that, like that might be kind of cool. Now, I don't know if that actually, like what kind of effect that would have, but in terms of like, okay, a lot of gyms are going to have pools or a sauna or hot tub. So let's have like, instead of like a chlorinated pool, let's have like a saltwater pool, That's going to be more conducive, better for your body. Like it's cool that we're talking about fitness and gym and stuff, because my kids really like utilizing the gym. I just got a membership to a gym so that they can use it, But there's a lot of different ways of being able to stay active, because that is an important bit of life. We want to stay active. We want to stay mobile. As we age and we get older, we want to still be able to like walk around and just be comfortable in our bodies. We don't want to get to the point where we're in a lot of pain because we've either misused our bodies or we weren't active enough or something. It's all about balance, right?
Yeah.
And so as far as how the gyms,
I am sure they were promoting an active lifestyle, definitely.
Yeah. And there wasn't all the vehicles and everything. So I think mainly people walked everywhere, that they went. And so that actually kept you a certain level of fitness, you know what I mean? A certain level of that thing. And I mean, the food is a big thing in terms of, now I don't know exactly what the details would be behind it, but they have those people who've talked about, they're like, you look at videos or pictures of people, 50, 100 years ago, there wasn't like a whole lot of like of these things going on, like obesity or like all this kind of stuff, because they've basically made it now where we're so stationary and we don't get out and interact with the world as much. We just plop down in front of the TV and then
order food.
Yeah, exactly. You just
give money, like
get a DoorDash to go.
So nonsense. Yeah, so they were walking a lot. They were a lot more active physically at start, just to get their food and get their everyday things done too.
I mean, just think about it. If you're like having to carry water from like the river or the well or wherever back to your home, like you're carrying it like big pots of water, and that's going to make you fit, like you're actually going to be like very you'll have a lot of stamina from that kind
So what you're saying is because of our sedentary lifestyle that we have become accustomed to, we have no choice to have those gym around, because if not, it would be hard to stay fit without any gyms or places to go to work our muscle, because we don't carry water no more. We don't even carry our groceries. We get it put in a car. It's the less effort possible to get the maximum. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, in terms of like working out or being active, even if you're going to gym or something like that, we can integrate things that are going to be working on multiple levels at the same time. So, for instance, if we're doing some kind of workout or something like that, then we can also utilize that time to be speaking some repetitions of, for well-being or for, positivity of uplifting our consciousness, giving gratitudes to divine, to the elements, to the earth and stuff like that. So that's a way where you can get kind of a bigger bang for your buck, because when you're doing workouts, it's often about doing, like they'll have that saying, right? It's like, how many reps is you, how many repetitions. So you can be doing some reps, but also be speaking some reps at the same time.
Good mantra. Every time you do a rep, bar, good mantra come out. Yeah.
I mean, that would really
be shown,
That would change the energy of those kind of places big time. You know what I mean? As far as the consciousness goes. And I think there's, as far as like how those places work, I mean, there's usually like a place, like a workout area with different machines and equipment. And then there'll be kind of like a studio area where they'll have like flexibility or like mobility classes, like Pilates or like some type of, yoga class or something like that. And like P has talked about, now he made the distinction between what people are calling yoga today, which is like an exercise class, and then how they referred to the term yog in Vedic texts, because yoga is about connecting with divine. It's about yoking yourself to something higher. Whereas today, people's automatic thought when they think of yoga is someone doing a stretch or someone doing a downward dog or whatever. But P never said like, don't stay active or don't stay fit or stretch or stuff like that. But there's a balanced way to do it. He also pointed out there is the extremes that you don't want to push yourself so hard that you injure yourself, because then you're not able to be mobile. You don't want to hurt yourself to where like you're not as able to be moving around and stuff like that. Because if you're actually working to live a life of service, you don't want to do something in which you're not able to serve anymore because, I can't do this now because I hurt myself or whatever, or I got sick. That's why like well-being and actually, having a good way of eating, having a good way of staying active, it should be balanced so that, we have the well-being that we need to like operate and manage ourselves throughout the day. And we can work to evolve ourselves, do something for divine, for the earth, for the elements. But we don't want to get ourselves in an extreme fashion where, we may be injured and then we have to take the time to recover. Who knows? We could have an injury that might not really be that recoverable from, or there's a lot of different things that can happen. So,
especially lifting weight, people should be very careful when it comes to lifting weight. I see guys there sometimes. Even my son my other son Sam was trying to lift big stuff, and I was telling him, careful, you can injure yourself. Something you'll never come back from. You might be very pumped in the moment, like 19, 18, to lift big amount of weights, but you can injure yourself. So I would be very careful with that, the weightlifting. You can either like lift weight, but lift less weight in a more amount of time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as far as the bodybuilding goes, it's not really necessary. Yeah, it's fine. like like P said, like you get yourself stiff to where like you get stacked up with muscles like this, and then like it's actually not really that practical because like
we have women also looking like that these days.
Yeah, definitely. And
not really my type of stuff. Prefer bit less athletic.
Yeah, right. So like, you know, they might have the capacity to do, you know, some type of like feat of strength that is like not attainable by people who haven't built that kind of muscle, but like how practical is it actually? I think people need to also associate like fitness with practicality. Like, you know, you might want to like build some muscle and stuff like that and stay toned, but I mean, it's better to, you know, shy away from extremes because it's just, you don't need to do that, you know? And I don't know, but we can wait and hear what P says about bodybuilding. I think we probably have an idea of what he'll say about it, but.
So the next, we'll finish with the communications for today, and we'll do another one after, and that will be it. The other one is technologies I have, animal kingdom, and environment management, like tree cuts, ocean care, and all that stuff. Of course, we are a caregiver to the earth, so we should play a role in there. Not just destroyers, carekeeper. I don't know if it's the right word. Communications. Now I'm talking about phones and either landline or cell phones or radio waves. For sure, there's a lot of stuff in the air at the moment right now that I don't see. Like the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a good one. Is it something they were working? Because people seem to think that internet is just in our days, that it's brand new and stuff. I think it's a technology that's been around probably for a long time. Maybe they had it also before. I wasn't there, but it doesn't make sense really that we're the only ones in the history of the earth that are using internet. I think even they had probably something more technological than what we use, because I think it's by cable, the internet. I don't see that being transmitted by balloons up there.
Right.
So it's more like under the ocean and stuff. It's all by cables apparently. So was it like that before? And what could we make better in our world of communications? That's my big question. I think there's certain, like the 5G and all that. Again, I'm just saying a word. I don't know a clue about 5G. I don't know what it is. I know nothing. I know freaking.
Yeah.
If you come here to learn from me, I know nothing. I learn from others, and I'm here to question and but don't expect me to come here with a degree in communications. And I'm just question everything with scrutiny, deep into the rabbit hole sometimes. So so the 5G, Wi-Fi, radio waves, cell phones, computers. I'm sure these things are not new.
Right.
What do you think about that, Frank?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I can't remember what the year was, but I mean, the transatlantic cable was laid down a long time ago, you know, and that's where a lot of the communications are going back and forth between, and there's all sorts of under ocean cables that internet is traveling through, as far as I know. And so, yeah, I feel like as far as of how can we improve, how can we make things better, you know, I think a certain amount of transparency and as far, because like you said, I don't know about, you know, certain things with like the, you know, 5G and Wi-Fi and things like that. And as far as like how do they affect the human body, I think that's something that should be considered. And I think they're because even it's very obvious that they're like there's been situations where people who were living next to like certain towers or like power places, they're like more likely to get cancer, or like, I mean, who knows what was going on with their lifestyle and stuff also, but like there's a certain frequency
Yeah.
that isn't exactly conducive to human biology to be in that all the time. Now, what I have heard Pete talk about as far as like internet and like Wi-Fi, radio waves, and all that kind of stuff, that he says that if you're taking care of your body properly, if you're doing grounding, if you're eating well and doing those kind of things, most of that stuff is like it's like you're standing in the ocean when the waves are kind of breaking on your feet. He's like it's not harmful. They're just waves. They're just going past you. But I think at the same time,
certain things must be done in order to neutralize those bad effects.
Exactly. And I think, in general, like I think is, like warnings or like instructions in terms of even on your phone. I think I saw something that was showing if you go into a certain place, it says that you shouldn't have your phone like a certain distance from your brain, so I think it's recommended to use speakerphone and the other thing that I'm not exactly sure about too is like the Bluetooth headphones and stuff like that. There's some people who are like really not into that in terms of like, they say it's kind of like microwaving your head. I don't really know like what to think about it,
Why is it called Bluetooth? Why would you have a dent bleu? Like you have a blue.
Right. Yeah, and it's got the rune. The symbol for the Bluetooth is like that the Nordic kind of rune kind of thing.
So what is that thing with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and how were they dealing with it? What's PT's take on this according to the literature?
Yeah, I think there should be for the improvement of it as far as like our own relationship with the technology and with communications, there should be kind of standards set for like how we interact with it. Like you shouldn't be using it for more than this amount of time, or like, there should be some protocols that are implemented for how we how our own relationship with this communication technology is,
and clear warnings to not in small little characters at the end of your user agreement, and like stated clear on when you open the phone, like all the stuff should be there, and you should be aware like of how damaging it is for you. And in the world where we would all care for ourselves, we wouldn't indulge in such nonsense collectively. I think just a matter of education. Also, people are not really educated; they're indoctrinated. So, if we start bringing more education to the table and the real stuff, I think we would all grow in awareness. And at one point, we would not demand stuff that is not good for our body, like stuff in the ear and stuff, like you said.
Yeah,
and you go to the gym. You go to the gym, you exercise, but you fry your brain at the same time.
Right.
You ever thought of wire headphones? Like, there's. I have them. I chose between Bluetooth and wires. I'm going with wire.
Yeah.
I don't care having a wire hanging around if it's not gonna bribe, because it doesn't sound very good to put something directly on your head like this, like Bluetooth. Yeah,
it's just, it seems like it's a big unknown, like it's just new. It's like certain types of like pharmaceuticals. It's like, do you have the research like how this actually affects people? Because we don't really know,
most of the time you take pills, you don't know.
Yeah, and I think you were right as far as the communications technology goes. I think it's been around since before, its modern implementation. I think it's been here in different times, in different eras, in different ages and stuff like that. It might not look exactly the way that it does now, but right, we have our modern era of internet, video calls, just audio calls and stuff like that.
And all this, is it of divine knowledge, of divine creation? Like saying it's freaking magic. The other day I was talking with Ben Hams, he's in Africa on video. I was completely in real time. Africa, Canada. I said, that's hard. I was so amazed that we could have this talk together live. But I cannot imagine that it's the first time it's around.
Right. Well, so to bring into the conversation like a little bit of an occult kind of thing with communications. I mean, I think it's talked with you about, even in the Bible, they talk about the Ark of the Covenant. And I think that was a mechanism in which they could talk to beings in a higher realm, Even
that's it.
Yeah. And then even all of the secret societies who made the Industrial Revolution, I think they were doing seances and stuff like that to talk to beings who they might have been in lower realms, but who had power to change things here if they could implement their strategies and their technology stuff. So
that's a good point. Communication with higher realm. Now we're talking communication with lower realm here.
Right.
What about communication with higher realm, PT?
That'd be nice.
Boom. That's all stuff I'm going to bring up to PT, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. We're in the hour, Frank. That's what we do usually. We advance in our reasoning, definitely. There will be maybe one more unless I add something else, which is possible.
Sure.
I want to see how PT wants to take it also, and because it's going to be a few episodes with him also, it's half an hour each. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask him to give me a push for 4 or 5.
Yeah, we'll just kind of play it by ear, Yeah, see how
we have talked about so much stuff, me and him, that I don't want it to be a repeat also. So I really got to focus, and I'm going to have to be really, usually I'm present. I'm not that absent-minded.
Yeah.
I'm there, I'm present. But I'm saying and you guys' reactions when I did that post on Facebook blew my mind completely.
So cool.
That I was like, I knew I was gonna get some reaction because it's PT, but he's so praised and adored. Like I told you in a message, it said the least say very impressive.
Oh yeah.
The amount of praise that this man gets, and that is unknown to anyone I had on the TruMon show. Never had that effect on the comments that people leave, on the presence on the live, like this live show. I told Kim, I said, I expect at least 60 people watching live. It is big. Usually you go with the amount of subscriber, like 2,000 something, and that's a big percentage, 60. So definitely PT attracts a lot of great people. Mm-hmm. I give thanks for that a lot. I'm very thankful for his presence here. It's not about us, it's about all of us, having our world better, making our world better. So definitely PT can help us clarify all this. Now after, it's up to you to do the work. Yes, for sure. You can bring a horse to the water, mean he's going to drink it.
Yeah.
But we're giving you good water, so maybe you should drink it. So our job, Frank, we're forward again tomorrow early.
Yep. That's right.
What time? 9? 9 is good?
Yeah, that works for me, definitely.
Okay, so a great session. Have a nice time. PT is so graceful. Albanian for life. Larger. The chat.
Yes.
Yes, we'll be forward again tomorrow early. 9 a.m. and maybe we'll plan for another one.
Sounds good. Yeah. Always
the days, but a few more sun passing.
Yeah, it's always fun to explore things in the light of real improvement, evolution, well-being for everybody. I mean, that's what, and even just doing it, you know, through this technology that we're talking to now is a very Aquarian type of interaction that's happening. So,
and also in all buildings that we build, we should have more natural lights. Even in your home, you should have sunroof. You know, they used to have that a lot back in the day. It was very popular. People wanted like sunroof in their kitchen.
Right.
Where is all this? Like we have seemed to have gone so unnatural. Like we don't see that unless you're a wealthy person and wants it, but it should be like a standard in buildings, sunroof, grounding spot, you know, something to really have a good link with iron.
Agreed.
So, okay, so we are out. Woo! It was an honor to be here. Thanks for life. Thankful to be alive. I was a bit not sick. I had the little thing last few days. I don't know, my belly was feeling weird. Now I'm back on my feet.
Feeling strong.
So large up, Frank, and see ya tomorrow early.
Yes, sounds good.
Boom.